I'm good. Happy?
Yeah.
Sure?
Wait.
Perfect. Hey monkeys, how you doing? Damian Keys here. This is going to be a very quick show because I'm running fucking late.
So late.
With me as always is Melissa. How you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Very, very good. This is the #AskDamo show where you ask questions and we'll do our best to answer them and hopefully you send presents, which we've not done for a while.
We've got a bit of a pile going on here.
Well, so it's been a busy couple of weeks.
Yeah. How's New York?
New York was still there, which was good.
Yeah. Still cold.
Yeah, and I was staying in the financial district down the bottom, which was great. I spent most of my time in Williamsburg because that was just cool.
Yeah,
and I nipped across to Brooklyn. That was very cool.
Very cool.
And then I nipped across to Meatpack District. That was shit.
Oh.
But yeah, it was good.
You can have all that cool without some shit.
I met some really cool people. I met a really awesome guy called Willie Morris, who was one of Gary Vaynerchuk's business partners, which was really
sweet.
cool.
That's
So
cool.
catching up with him, I met some YouTubers called Sam and Monica. They were really, really cool. Broke my hand. That was really cool.
Did you break your hand?
No, I just hurt my hand. It was this one as well. But anyway, so we've got to go. So we've got. So you open this one. I like this one because we really have to motor this show today. If you've got stuff, you need to send it through for our wall. We are definitely building up a nice collection of stuff. Ooh, oh look at this.
What have we got here?
I've got 0 sequence. I'm going to list this. Thanks for this, guys. Got a t-shirt. What's this?
I think I've got a t-shirt too.
My t-shirt
from
wardrobe.
White Station.
Ooh, nice. My t-shirt wardrobe is definitely getting bigger.
Yeah, it is. This
So
is cool.
I've got
I
0,
like
what
the
have you
design of
got?
this. I've got White Station
White
here. This is a
Station.
really nice design. I like that.
Love it. So these are
Yeah.
going to be worn. And
Sick.
who are White Station? whitestation54@gmail.com. whitestation.co.uk.
We'll have to have a little
I
store.
don't know if that's going to be in
Yeah.
focus. Is it in focus? Good. We'll put that on the wall. That's going to go on the
Sweet.
wall. I've got a letter from 0 here. It said, had a few small t-shirts left after the tour. Oh, cool. So I thought I'd send one your way along with our EP.
Thanks.
I'd love it if you have a chance to have a listen. I absolutely will. I'll be giving you a shout. I've got to go straight after a meeting, after this to a meeting. We're currently playing our next EP. I'd love to see a video on how you'd recommend promoting it and your advice on approaching radio/blogs/magazines and your opinion on PR companies. Oh, there's a big one. There's a biggie.
That is a biggie.
Are they worthwhile? We'll go into that. Maybe we'll do a quick one on that in a minute as well. The reason I'm asking is, whilst at ACM, our business tutor used to say to leave a minimum of 6 weeks to promote the EP. That's good, yeah. And really know what I should be doing in that time. Brilliant. Zero band, XERO band.com, Facebook.com/0 band page, Instagram.com/0 band. Brilliant.
We got more.
Oh, it's Ben Drake, this dude. Do you know what? I met up with Ben Drake. He's a very, very, very nice dude.
He seems really nice.
Oh, he's so cool. Such a nice dude. Such a talented bro. He works. What's really hard as well is he's tour managing. Basically, he's managing the whole project where he writes the songs, but he brings in other singers.
Oh, nice.
I think that's such a hard thing
He
to do.
got in Connor Wells actually, which
Did
is
he?
really nice. Really
Good
nice
old
to see.
Connor.
Yeah.
Look at that. Good. Brilliant. Dude, I will be listening
Beautiful.
to these. One for you.
Beautiful.
We'll put
Thanks
these
very
on
much,
the
Ben.
wall. Lovely job, Ben. Thanks very much for that. What's this? The Prezi time.
More
That one,
to
I'll do
shots.
this one. What's this? Project Redshift. Ooh, I don't know these guys. I will be
Well,
checking
we got
these
red
guys
going
out.
on here.
Look at this. You got a red one. I got a black
lovely.
one.
So
Thanks to
very
this,
cool.
guys.
Nice,
Let's see what it
thank
says. It's Pete from Project Redshift here. Here's the merch we promised for you guys. Keep up the good work, and we look forward to hearing your points of view on our debut single, Sanity Catches, for a recording in the future. I will be checking that out. Send me any links you've got so I can have a listen. These are going to be going on the wall. This will go on the wall for definite.
Then we got the big box.
What's this? Someone sent a biggie.
Careful of your tea.
Sorry. What's this? Right, I'll get stuff. You read that.
Okay. Hi Damian, thanks for all the advice over the last year that you've been putting out. It's been mega helpful. Here's a present for you. The t-shirt is from Melissa because you have too many. Oh, thanks you guys. We are beyond excited to have launched our new project, so I've sent you a copy of it plus some other bits that we thought you'd like. Our big focus is around which phone people use, Apple or Android. We're using NFC tags as pass keys to our secret area where all our downloads and exclusive content is being placed for our subscribers. With an Android phone, go to settings, enable NFC, enjoy. We'd love to know what you guys think. Big love, Mick from Troubadour.
Troubadour, I love these guys. Look at that, Troubadour bag, that's very cool. Oh, look at that for artwork. See, brands don't spend enough time on their artwork. Look at this.
Got a rogue badge.
That is an absolutely brilliant example of some artwork that when I did the radio show, and I used to get CDs, just hundreds of CDs that would come through, and it was like this. Like, we literally sat down, go, and I used to get a pile of CDs, and it'd be like, right, what are we going to play? And I'd be like, right, no, yes, no, maybe. And it was because things like that would stick out.
Yeah.
And that sticks out.
It makes such a difference.
That came through on the radio show. I wouldn't have even said maybe. I'd be like, we're playing that, that's amazing. Because if you can get that right, then you're going to get the music right. Simple as that. And this, look at that, look at this, a box. These.
Spoil us.
I think this is my new favourite. Brilliant. Look at that. It's just up the game. You just up the game. That is absolutely brilliant.
Thank you, Troubadour.
Yeah, well done.
I really like that. I really like the design of that. That's sick.
Amazing. I will be saying thank you guys, and hopefully I'll be getting this stuff on the wall. Right, we gotta go.
Awesome. Right, let's
do this. Right, we have some questions.
Okay, number one is from Alessandro via Instagram. Can you give me some tips on Facebook advertising? I don't really know where to start as I just created my Facebook page. Thank you for your videos and advice as they help a lot.
That's very kind of you. Yes, I can, and this is really important. So whatever the fuck you're doing, stop and listen, because I keep getting people saying either two things. My Facebook advertising is not working, blah, 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 or Facebook's advertising is bullshit, or they start going, here's my page. And that's driving me up the fucking wall. Okay, so here is the best bit of advice I can give you. If you're going to advertise your Facebook page, stop for a minute and listen to this. Don't advertise your Facebook page as such. What I would do is I would have an offer or a competition or advertise something that people can get involved in. Because otherwise what you're doing is what Facebook's already doing, which is if you can get shares and boosts and you can actually make good content, people will start to see it. If you want to advertise it, the way to actually get the most traction on that is to actually have an offer. So, for example, if you've got something happening, we are going on tour, and if you go to this link, you can get 20% off tickets. Now that is something that people can get involved in, and that's what I'm not seeing. So what I am seeing is people will make some content and then just either boost it so it's sponsored, so it goes to more people, or they'll advertise their entire page, and that is fine if you are giving something away. Like, for example, I give away free advice. I'm trying to help musicians. So if my advert says a big picture of my fat ugly face, and then underneath it says, are you in a band? I can help you with your career, then people are going, oh, I understand what I'm getting out of it. But if you just say rock band, then people are going, this is not something that I'm really going to buy into, because Facebook is just full of stuff everywhere, and then a lot of time they're not in the mindset. Whereas if you're giving them an offer, then they're much more likely to actually see what's in it for them, and then start to get involved and be emotionally tied into the product. And that's what I'm not seeing. So it's a really simple thing, and it's a really short answer. But what I would do is, if you want to boost stuff, fine, but I would look at what it is that you're boosting, and for me, an offer, a competition, or something that is actually front facing. This is audience related, and that's the whole point of this. This is how you're looking after your audience. If you guys realized how much I value you, and I don't mean you, the audience, I mean you personally, you, Dave, or John, or Margaret, whoever's watching this, that one person watching, I value so much, because you can make the difference. So I'm not thinking of it as one audience, I'm thinking of it as lots and lots of very, very important people. And so therefore, everything I do, I want to bring value. I want you to watch it and go, that is helping me, or that's something I can get involved in, or if it's a competition, that it'll be something that will help your band or your brand. That to me is the most important thing. So if I was going to spend money on advertising, the first thing I would do is I would allocate part of the budget into something that can be offered. So an example would be, Connor from, if you don't know who he is, this guy Connor Wells gave away his guitar, which was amazing, and he got more engagement than any his other posts, and we're still talking about it now because it was a really cool thing. So we still getting traction from that. Now, if you don't have to give away your guitar, but if you did something like that, rather than saying we're going to give away a free promo code for our CD, it's like, well, no one really gives a shit. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get people to give a shit about the band. So rather than do that, do something bigger. Think bigger. If you're going to think, just think a bit bigger and think about what it is that you can offer. If you're going to go on tour, if you're going to offer a performance at someone's house, if you're going to offer free guest list passes to a gig, to any gigs for a year, something that you can actually do that people will go, oh, fuck, that's actually really, really good. So if you can do that, that's when people will want to get involved. So for me, what I would do is I would look at the offer rather than the advertising. Then when you do that, that's when you start going into the detail. And then it is, who is your audience? And for that, you've got to go into your demographic. You've got to go into your insights. If you've been going in the band for 6 months to a year and you've added all your mates and then you start doing gigs and people are starting to add you, you'll start to form this demographic. And whereas your mum and your dad will join the page, and so therefore they'll skew the age a little bit of most of your target audience, but after a while, as it grows and grows and grows, it will really nail down your demographic. It will, and Facebook will just show you. Literally go into Facebook. There's a big button that says Insights. You click it. There's one down the bottom which says People. You click People, and literally it will just go. There is your demographic. That is male versus female, age, area, everything that you need to do will already be in there. And then what you do is you take that information and then you don't go against it. It's like a sat nav. Do you know what drives me fucking mental is when you get in your mate's car and you put the sat nav on and they go, sat nav saying to go this way. Fuck that, I'm going the other way. And you're like, what the fuck? It's fucking NASA. Like, it's NASA. They're looking down. They know their shit. This is billions of pounds of information. You've gone, nah, it's fucking wrong. Like, do the same thing with your Facebook. Look at the Facebook insights and then say, that is our demographic. Now, don't say, yeah, but when we do gigs, 18-year-olds turn up. Well, of course they do, because 35-year-olds don't go to gigs. So therefore, doesn't mean your audience online isn't 35-year-olds. So look at the demographic, look at the people who are engaging. Your Facebook will tell you that, and then advertise to those. And the last bit of information on this is really, really important, is when you're boosting something and advertising something, boost it to your audience. People are always just leave their audience alone. They just kind of go, well, we've got them, but you haven't. Facebook is pay to play. So if you've got 5,000 people on a Facebook page, 500 of them might see it, 4,500 of them might not see it. So therefore, advertise to those 4,500 people who you've already got on board. These are important people. Stop just trying to look for new people all of the time. Look after the old people.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, question 2. This is from Kings and Bears via Twitter. Asked Damo, I'm considering promoting some of my own gigs to sidestep the gig circuit a little, as it's very difficult to get booked. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so again, this is quite difficult because it does depend on where you are and who you are. When he says to sidestep the gig circuit, I'm guessing that's put on your own gigs. Absolutely, you can do that, but it's just make no mistake that this is a tough thing to do. When you are going from band to promoter and trying to be the band and the promoter, can it work? Absolutely right. And you are in control, and if you've got the time and the money and the energy to be able to do all of it, brilliant. But make no bones, this is not a simple thing. And so when people turn up to gigs and they go, no fucker turned up to my show, and this is 3 or 4 bands and a promoter all trying to get people into one place, and then not enough people turn up, it's because it's fucking hard. It's really hard. Yeah. And so it's not as simple as saying the promoter's not doing their job, because it's a whole thing where the bands and the promoter need to come together. Do you know what really grinds my gears? Do you know what really fucks me off is when bands blame promoters.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm sure there are shit promoters out there, but it's a shit gig. Like, who'd want to be a promoter? Like, if there's any promoters watching this, they're literally nodding, going, fucking hell, like, I'm doing my best. Like, it's a tough gig to actually say, I'm going to hire a venue, I'm going to get out there, and I'm going to put on a show, and do I get to stand on stage? Do I fuck? I just have to stand at the back and get moaned at by the bands because enough people didn't turn up, and then I've got to bollock the bands because we haven't made enough money, or because I can't pay them the money I was supposed to pay. It's a really tough gig. So, you know, for me, hats off to promoters, because they don't get paid much for doing it, and it's a real labour of love because they want to get involved. And I feel like bands should look after promoters a lot better than they do. Should you go into it yourself? Possibly, yeah. If you can find a good venue, then yes. If you're going to try and do the same thing at an existing venue, are you creating work for yourself? I don't know, it's quite a difficult one. If you're going to go and find a community centre or a rehearsal room or something and make it into a venue and then do it yourself, then yeah, why not? But this comes down to, can you get people there? Can you bring in bands that will get people there? It's a lot of time, a lot of effort and a lot of money. What I would do is I would ask another question, which is, why do you need to sidestep the circuit? What's wrong with your area? Because I don't know what the area is.
It's difficult getting booked.
Yeah, so why is that? I would look at the problem with that. Is are the promoters there, but they're not buying into the band? Are there not enough promoters? Are there not enough venues? And I would actually look at what the problem is. If there's not enough venues, then yeah, maybe you'll have to do it yourself. But it probably means travelling a little bit further, I would think. But for me, that's the question, is can we make this more of an attractive offer? So if I have a business, for example, and I go, people don't like, and I've had this before, people are just not buying into the business. Is that their fault? No, at the moment, I need to fix the product, I need to fix the marketing, I need to do something that make people go, this is amazing. And that could be one of many things. It could be the band, it could be the marketing, it could be the promotion, it could be all of them. Your job is to go across the line and see where the gap is. People are falling off here. So when I was in New York, by the way, I don't know if I told you this, I was in New York. But I caught a show. I wanted to go and see a band, and I went to the Bowery ballrooms. There was a band playing called Arkles. Never heard of them.
Yeah.
But everything else was DJs, and I wanted to go and see some proper guitar-based rock. And there's a band playing the Bowery Ballrooms, very infamous venue, brilliant. Went down to this venue, and I watched the sport band who were called Iron Tom, brilliant. Had a song called Be Bold Like Elijah. It's like my new favourite song. It's fucking brilliant. Check it out, Iron Tom. And then after that, watched Arkles, and they came on stage, and I just thought, oh, this is good, I get to watch a band. I think they were probably the best band I've ever seen in my life. Like literally the best band I've ever seen in my life. Absolutely blew my tits off. They were fucking incredible. Like just textbook, the way they came on, the way they left, like the order of the set. I mean, it was like 10 years worth of experience that went into the show. And I've seen a shit ton of bands. And they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. All of a sudden, I'm like, when they come to the UK, I'm going to go and see them because that was amazing. They did something that made me a fan.
Yeah.
From me just going, yeah, that's the best option for the night. I want to go and see a band. That's the one that I've picked. To I've got all of their stuff on Spotify. I sent them a message on Twitter. I fucking loved last night. Took pictures. I put it on Snapchat. I was putting it on my Instagram. Then after that, I was telling my mates. I'm telling everyone on here because they did something that made me think that's fucking amazing. And the amazing thing was the show. And so when it comes to getting gigs, they will never ever have problems getting gigs because their show was amazing, and they did loads of clever things that you'll see a million times that they put into their show. They got a girl up to play guitar. Who can play guitar? Girl came up. It's just G, C, and D that she got up and they're just playing the song, and she was doing that was quite clever. You know, it's just loads of little bits that got the audience involved. And I was looking around and I was thinking, this audience is mad for this band, and I'm just part of their new community. That I'm like, oh, I feel like the newcomer, and now I'm telling other people about it. But the key was the show. Everything else from the marketing point of view after that was all based on get on that stage and just put on a show that people will have to talk about, that people will just go, you should have seen, which is what I'm doing. You should have seen them. They were amazing. They were so tight. They were so good. The singer was amazing. He was in the middle of he was in the stage, then he was off the stage. He was in the crowd. Like, it was just amazing. And so that's the key. And so if people aren't booking you, we need to look into why. That to me is the key. So if that doesn't answer your question, hit me up on Twitter and we'll go into a bit more detail and I'll see if I can help. But
nice one. Right, question 3 from Patrick via Facebook. He says, I like the idea of reposting old content. People usually love nostalgia, but wouldn't your audience be bored of seeing the same thing over and over again? Which is a good question.
It's a very good question. It's a very good question. And you're right, nostalgia's massive. And nostalgia's a funny word because if you posted something a year ago, it's not really well, I suppose it is a little bit nostalgic. If you posted something 5 years ago, if you posted it a couple of weeks back, then maybe not. I think this is a really good question, and I think this is something that bands do not do. And in fact, I'm guilty of this, and we had a conversation earlier on because whilst I was in New York, anyone who follows the Facebook page might have noticed that I'm in New York, and all of a sudden there's a picture of me on, like a video of me on Brighton Beach chatting, which my mum commented on. By the way, Mum, thanks for commenting on all of my stuff. And my mum commented on, and she even said, "I thought you were in New York." I was like, cheers, Mum. But it got loads of engagement. And so I wasn't around. I was just up to my eyeballs in stuff. And so that was a video that could go out, that could bring value. And loads of people hadn't seen it because it was from a year ago. It was absolutely the right thing to do, was to post an old video. Because too many people think of their content as gone, finished, done. It's in the past. It's like a live gig. You can't recreate it. You can't do it. It was just a moment in time. But it's not. It's not a moment in time. It's still on your phone, or it's still on the computer, or it's still on the camera. It's something, or it's still on YouTube. It's still something you can post. Throwback to last year when we did this. I mean, you'll all have that on your Facebook. Well, you'll open up your Facebook in the morning and it'll say, this time last year, or this time 8 years ago, you looked better. You know, that thing that always just crops up on your Facebook, that's because we love that shit. You know, I even got a message today from someone saying, look, this was us 4 years ago. And I was like, oh, I remember that. It was amazing. And so why not? Why not utilize the footage? I mean, don't go to town all of the time every single day and still make new content. But here's the thing. So this is an interesting thing. I was in New York. I was doing some research on other Facebookers, other YouTubers, that kind of stuff. And there's other people who do a similar kind of thing that I'm just sort of looking at, not competition, but I'm just studying. I want to see how it works. And on Facebook, one thing you can do is you can add them as kind of competitors. You can see what they're doing. So it's very, very simple. I could do a video on it, but you go into the, I think it's into the insights bit into Facebook. You scroll down and it says add a person or add a page. And then you can add it and it will say how many times they're posting. It will say what engagement they've got this week. It will say how many subscribers they've got. All of those things will just pop up on it and it'll tell you. And I noticed that a lot of the bigger Facebookers, Gary V, those sorts of people, they're posting like 28 times a week. 28 times a week. Where I'll probably do 7 because I'm like, just one a day. He's going, no, fuck one a day. I'm doing 4 times a day. Just like Lad Bible or any of those sorts of things. Now, lots of people are going, it's too much. I hate that. Fine. His demographic, some people will drop off it, but his numbers are going up through the fucking roof. So you might lose 5 people, but if you gain 50 people, what's the right thing to do? That's the right thing to do, because you gained 45 people who are really interested in what you do, and 5 people went, fuck off, I'm bored of that. So you play in the numbers game.
It's the quality of the content as well.
Absolutely. I mean, he does have quality content. You know, he's pretty good. He's pretty good at what he does. But you know, for me, all that stuff in the back end, you can go in, you can see other bands, you can see what they're posting, but how much you're posting is relevant. This idea of how much you're posting versus quality versus content. No, fuck that. It's both. We have to put out quality and we have to put out regularly. That's what we have to do. If you're a YouTuber and you post once a month, you're fucked. It just doesn't work like that. You know, you'll grow slowly. If you're a YouTuber and you can put out the same content 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 7 times a week, you will grow 10 times faster. Simple as that. So for me, when it comes to this, a big part of this is when you're reposting stuff, make it nostalgic, make it good, but definitely do it. Definitely do it, because you know, the other thing bands do as well is they've got a new single and they go, this is us playing live on a new single, and you never hear it again. It's like, promote the shit out of that new single. Make people bored of the fact that you're like, oh no, it's a fucking new single, I get it. But at least they know about it. And when they say, fucking hell, stop promoting the new single, say, no, fucking buy it. And then mute me for a week, because I'm going to carry on doing this, because out of the 10,000 people who like my page, only 200 people have bought it, therefore 9,800 people haven't bought it yet, and they're the people who need to fucking buy it. So, you know, that is marketing. You can't just tell someone once and then hope for the best. So I think it's a brilliant idea, and I think bands should be doing a lot more of this. If you've made a brilliant video, once a week, nostalgia of the week. There you go, do that. Nostalgia of the week. Monday nostalgia. Is there a Friday? Doesn't rhyme.
No.
Saturday nostalgia.
It's quite an ambitious word.
Nostalgia Tuesdays doesn't work, does it?
But more content the better.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. Okay. Awesome. Right. So last question. This is from Zoe via Twitter. She says, "Hello Damian, I'm a singer-songwriter but can't stick to one genre in particular, and my music can be quite eclectic. How can I target an audience? Shall I force myself to choose one genre and work towards that?"
I mean, if you're a singer-songwriter and you're the artist, then you are gonna struggle, really. I mean, this is something that I do come across very, very regularly, where bands say the best thing about us is we could write a rock song, but we could write a reggae song, we could write a punk song, we could write a heavy metal song. That's fine, but you're not thinking of your audience. You're thinking of you personally. It's quite a selfish way of looking at it. I want to write this because I feel in a reggae mood. I feel like a bit of folk stuff. The problem is on the whole, what you're doing there is you're alienating your audience, because the people who like metal. There's not a lot of people who go, I like metal, but also I like pop music. People who like metal go, fuck pop music.
Yeah.
I hope anyone who makes pop music dies, because they're like that. And anyone who likes pop music just goes, ugh, heavy metal is just noise. Now those are two extreme cases, but you'd be surprising how many times that I'm listening to bands' EPs and I go, God, these things don't add up properly. So it's not just people saying it, it's people doing it without realising. There's lots of bands who are actually writing in different genres, and it's just too eclectic. And if you think of all your favourite albums, how many do that? They don't. They just don't do that. You know, I say this a lot, but when you go into, not that it's there anymore, but when you go into HMV or into a record shop, they don't have a miscellaneous section.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. And I know genres are almost kind of a thing of the past, and it's more moods now. But when you go and see a band, you know what to expect. So, you know, part of it is how far you're straying. You know, going a little bit into some influences where, you know, Ed Sheeran wrote that Galway Girl, and it was full on Irish, and his record company was like, don't be ridiculous. And it was the biggest song he's ever released or whatever it was. It was just massive. But, you know, so you are going to get the odd case, but it still sounded like Ed Sheeran. It was still Ed Sheeran. It was just him doing an Irish thing. But if he then went, and now here's me doing a metal song, his audience is going to start to think, I'm not sure what I'm getting here. I'm not sure what I'm buying into. So you do have to be careful. And there's a lot of people who are watching this, I know, who are going, this doesn't apply to me. You'd be surprised the amount of things that I get through. I'm not saying it's this, but the amount of CDs I get through that I listen to, and I'm flicking through stuff, and I'm just thinking, these songs are just too eclectic.
Yeah.
And I want what I love is the band for being the band, and I want them to be the band that they are, and the music that they are, and the style that they are. So if you can't stick to it, I'd like to know why. That was my question to you. Why can't you stick to it? What is it? Is it just creativity? And is it because you want to write for other people? And if you're writing that much in different styles, what about having your own thing? If you look down the line, and there's loads of people that are writers that have their own style and their own sound, Bruno Mars, for example, but they will write for other people. So they might go, I love that song, it's fantastic. It's not me at all, but it's someone else. And then they'll go and find someone else and give them that song and say, look, you know, here's this, go, and if they get a record deal, they get more publishing or whatever it's going to be. But I think that's what I would do. I would actually look around for avenues that if you're writing and going, I just love being creative and I happen to write a dance track, don't put it out. For me, I would say to go and find someone with a dance thing and then do a collab with them and say, look, here's the song, let's do a collab, I'm on it, and get my name out there a bit more. That's what I would do. But this is for bands that are thinking to themselves, we don't have that problem when they do. You know, I think some bands will be a rock band and all of a sudden they'll just go a little bit too heavy metal.
Yeah.
And some bands will be a rock band and all of a sudden they'll go a little bit too pop.
Because it's okay to have a bit of a fusion, isn't it?
A little
genres,
bit,
but
yeah.
just, I suppose, not darting between all of them too
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
And it's up to because it's subjective. It's up to you where the line is. How far north of your genre do you go, and how far south of your genre do you go? But if it's just here, there, that's a problem.
Yeah,
That's a problem. You know, you're in charge of the parameters of the style of your music, but for me, this is just too much. You know, when bands do this is rock and this is metal. When people are doing this, and I do see it very, very regularly when people send me through a Spotify link to songs, and I'm just doing 20 seconds of each one, and I'm like, oh, a lot of these feel like they've been written by different people, because the bass player wrote a song, and then the drummer wrote a song, and the guitarist wrote a song, and you can really feel it. It doesn't feel like an album or a band. It feels like a collaboration, which is very difficult, because you've got to think of the end consumer, which is me listening to your tracks going, oh, I fucking love that, it's just like this band, and then all of a sudden you go, oh no, now it's not, now it's like this band, and I'm not a fan of that band. So so I'd say, is it going to hamper you? I'd say yeah.
So
I wouldn't do that.
Pick one genre and then use the other stuff.
Yeah, and people are going to comment below, and they're going to say, well, actually, I think you'll find, and they'll probably name a band that I've never heard of, which happens all the time, which probably I've got 25,000 followers on Facebook, and they've got a very small record deal that do that. But on the whole, I wouldn't do that.
Okay, cool. And that was our last question.
Cool, fantastic. I have to go. I'm off to do some more book writing. That's what I'm going to do.
Nice.
So I'm with Siobhan. We're doing some more book writing. I've had a couple of weeks off the book, but it's still coming. Hopefully it'll be sort of January, February, and the book is called The Rule Breaker's Guide to Social Media. There'll be a lot of music industry advice in there as well. So I'm off to do that. Thank you so much. Send some stuff through. Like this, comment on this. We're going to start doing some bigger competitions. We've been chatting in the office. I've had a think, well, we want to do bigger competitions with bigger rewards. And the people who are following me on YouTube and commenting, I just want you to know, I notice these things. We did a post last week where there's a music industry thing coming up on Friday, and I posted something saying, small music industry event, secret thing, secret location. I had like 300 bands come to me and be like, we want to be a part of it. And I was like, why do I not know like 250 of these fucking bands? And then you've got to think of it that if that's the case, and I don't know about you, and you're following my shit, and you're not getting yourself known, you're not doing yourself a service, because I want to help the people who are helping me. I want to help everybody, but at the same point, the more you help me, the more I want to help you. That's just life. That's just human nature. So, if I don't know about your band, why not? Like, these are people I will now know about. These people will never message me again and have me go, who's this? I'll be like, dude, thank you so much for the CD. Thank you so much for the stuff. It goes in. And so if you're not getting your name out there with me, then who are you getting out to? Because I'm trying to help you guys. So send me some stuff, like, comment, get involved in the conversation. I'm in the room. I'm in the room in Facebook. I watch your comments. I see it. Get involved. Do the same on YouTube or Instagram or Snapchat. I'm loving Snapchat. Gotta go. Right, finish my tea. Off we go. Thanks very much.
See you later.
And see you next week.